Mr. Meddle's Parcel. One day Mr. Meddle went to get his shoes from the cobbler's. They were ready for him, so he paid the bill and took up the brown paper parcel. Off he went, meaning to go straight home, but, of course, he didn't. He met Mr. Jenks, who was sitting on the seat by the bus stop with a lot of other people waiting for the bus. So down sat Meddle and began to talk. Mr. Jenks caught the next bus, and then, as Meddle didn't know any of the other people on the seat, he picked up the parcel beside him and set off home. But he had picked up the wrong parcel. He had put his parcel down on the left side of him, and the one he picked up was on the right side and belonged to the big man there. But the big man didn't notice for a while. He just sat and smoked his pipe. Meddle went on home, swinging his parcel by the string and singing a song at the top of his voice. But he hadn't gone very far when he heard someone shouting behind him. He looked round. It was the big man, and he was shouting out very loudly, "Give me that parcel!" "Good gracious," said Meddle to himself, quite alarmed. "What does he want my parcel for? He must be a robber." So Meddle began to run as fast as he could. "Stop! Stop!" yelled the big man behind. "I say stop!" "And I say go on!" panted Meddle to himself. Oh my, who'd have thought of meeting robbers like this? He tore on and on. The man tore after him, getting angrier and angrier. "Give me that parcel!" yelled the man, who was really catching Meddle up now. "Never, never!" shouted back Meddle valiantly. He turned in at a gate, meaning to take a shortcut across Farmer Straw's field. It was very muddy and wet. Soon poor Meddle had clumps of clay on his boots and could hardly run at all. He staggered as he went, but the big man behind him was in the same state. He couldn't run either, for his boots had great lumps of clay all over them. But he made up for his slowness by his shouting, "Stop, I say, stop! I want that parcel!" "Well, you won't get it then," shouted back poor Meddle. He stumbled over the field and at last came to the stream. This was usually so small that Meddle could jump over it quite easily. But today it was swollen and wide and deep, for there had been heavy rains. Meddle wished he hadn't got to jump, but there was nothing else to do. So he jumped, but, of course, he landed right in the very middle of the stream. His parcel got very wet, and by the time he had waded out of the stream onto the other side, the paper was giving way. Meddle sat down on the bank, panting and puffing. He felt quite sure that the big man wouldn't try to jump, for he had seen what had happened to Meddle. The man didn't jump. He stood on the other side of the stream and shouted once more to him, "You silly! You've spoilt my parcel!" Meddle thought the man must be quite mad. He held up the parcel, which was rapidly coming undone, and shouted back, "It's my parcel! It's got my boots inside! You won't rob me of them if I can help it!" The paper slid away and big drops of water fell all over Meddle. He stared at the wet paper, and he stared, and he stared. For in the parcel were not the boots he had expected, but a very nice large slab of cheese that smelt exceedingly good, but was quite spoilt by the water. "Good gracious," said Meddle, "what's happened to my boots?" "You left them on the bus stop seat, you silly donkey," said the big man impatiently. "You took my cheese instead, and here I've been shouting and running after you for ages, and all you do is to yell back something rude at me, jump into a stream, and spoil my cheese." "I'm really very sorry," said Meddle in a small voice. "Really very sorry indeed." "Well, being sorry won't mend my cheese," said the big man. "You'll have to pay for that." "Oh, certainly," said Meddle. "I'll quite see that. I'll send the money to you tomorrow." "Oh, no, you won't," said the big man firmly. "You'll come across this stream again, and you'll give me the money now. After all, you've got to go back to the seat to fetch your boots, haven't you? And you'd better hurry too, in case somebody goes off with them." "Dear me, so I had," said poor Meddle. So into the stream he had to jump once more. He waded across and paid the large man what he asked. Then, cramming the soaked cheese into his pocket, he set off back to the seat to get his boots. The parcel was still there. Meddle undid it to make sure it really did hold boots this time, not cheese or something extraordinary. Yes, it was boots, all right. So home at last went Meddle, with a pair of mended boots, a pocket full of dripping cheese, and no money. And if I know anything of Meddle, he'll go to bed tonight, leaving the cheese in his pockets, and then he'll wonder why his bedroom is suddenly overrun with hundreds of mice.